So that's not normal. That's a queen that's failing. Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm. It's Thursday, April 4th, 2024, and it's been a while since I shot a video, and that's what I said last time I shot a video. But it's been rainy and cold, so I haven't been able to do much down here. And then I caught COVID, and I missed like 3 days of work last week, and I'm finally starting to feel where I can get out and do a little bit without it zapping my energy. But I'll try to get through this without coughing and see how far we get. But today I want to get into some of these hives, and it's time to start checking for swarm cells. We've had some really good nectar flow, really strong, and had one little swarm in this little tree right here. One of the days I was sick, I was looking at Facebook and I saw all these people not too far from here posting all these pictures of swarms in trees, and I was like, oh boy, I better go check. So I wandered out, got on the four-wheeler, and I drove down here, and there was a little swarm right here. It wasn't very big, so I got it put into a box, and I used one of those Apame boxes, and it's down there in slot number 2. I did go in and check it a couple days later, and there's a virgin queen in there, so it's probably a cast swarm where they were superseding and not really a swarm. But that's usually what those little swarms are when they're like that. And I thought I might find it in here, so I did an inspection on hive 1 and 4 last night that have the supers on them there, and they did have drone comb built up pretty good in them, but no swarm cells yet. But I just checked those 2. So I wanted to do a video, and I'm going to get over here and I'm going to start on hives. Let's see, 5, 6, 7. That's 3 big strong hives right there, and check on them and see what they look like. Especially that number 8, the one that's got the kind of green and colored boxes on it. I know that one's really strong. I want to check on it. So if I do find some swarm cells, I'm going to probably pull some splits and try and fill in some of these empty spaces and get built back up to about 30 hives. And probably going to sell some nukes this year if I have a good swarm cell harvest and get quite a few built up. But I did give one hive away already to one of my friends up in Tulsa, and he's been enjoying that. So let's get in there. I'm going to do those 3 big tall hives right there. And yeah, I've supered up everything. Everything is supered. I didn't do much of a super video this year. It's just been a crazy year so far, time-wise. I did also check this little hive right here. That's hive 17. It was a single deep, and it was packed out in there, and I put 2 supers on that, so I'm going to run a single deep with 2 supers. And when I was checking it out, I thought I might find that queen in marker, last year's red, and I never found her. But when I was going through there, that hive was void of any nectar whatsoever, and they were starving out basically. So I ran and got some sugar water. I had some Hive Alive liquid feed in it, liquid stimulant in it, and from last fall it's been in the fridge, so it was good. And I poured it in some of those empty frames on the outside and on one side, and filled those up and put them in there, and I caused a little bit of robbing. So yeah, if they're robbing this time of year, that means the flow is slowed down. But today it's about 72 degrees. It's almost dead calm. Beautiful day for the bees to be foraging, and you can just see them, just waves of them coming and going. So they're working something out there. So yeah, with this warm air and no wind, they're really starting to work whatever they're finding out there, flowers. I did see some honey locust trees blooming as well. So all the tulips and daffodils are almost done blooming. I'll swing you around real quick so you can see that. So yeah, they were really pretty when they were going at full strength there. All along that hill. And different ones bloomed at different times. So all those right there, they're done. So, and then these come up later. And she bought a bunch of tulips, and like about 1,000, and planted in that bare spot right there, and not one of them came up. So she's going to be talking to them about that. So anyway, let's get over here and get started. So here's hive 17 I was telling you about. That it's a single deep with 2 supers on it. And I put this robin screen on there, and I didn't have my bungee, so I just leaned that inner cover up against it to hold it on there. So yeah, last night when I got done doing the inspections on 1 and 4 over there, I heard a bunch of bees racket over here, and their bees were just flying all around here. So I was like, man, I'm causing a robbing situation when I poured that sugar nectar into those frames in there to give them something to eat. And so I put this robin screen on there. You can see right now I've got this door up. I came down here this morning to check on it, and there were a lot of bees on the front, and I thought, well, they're still robbing. But I got to looking at all the bees on the front, and most of them had pollen. So they're bringing in pollen. That means they're bees from this hive. So I didn't have my suit on or nothing, my jacket, and I was needing to go into work, and I just raised this up right here and let the commotion settle down. Just the way it was, all they had was this little entrance right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off of there now, because there's no need for it. And it's because it's such a good forage day, the bees are not focused on this hive here. They're out going and getting whatever they're getting. So almost, well, probably half of the bees I see coming up here, they all have yellow pollen. They're bringing it in. And the ones that don't have pollen, hopefully they have nectar. I did bring with me a honey frame. I forgot I had that honey frame. I just have given them that instead of hauling that bucket down here and giving them that nectar. But I did bring that honey frame with me. I may get in here later and put that honey frame in there, because there are so many bees in there, and there was like no space for food at all. So this is going to be a good hive. They're going to make, I bet you they fill those 2 supers right there. But I got to pay attention to this later on in the fall, that they've got enough food in here for them, because if I take these, they won't have any honey here. So I got to make sure they got plenty. I may even, after I take these supers off, give them a deep box to work on and put the fall honey in that for them to survive the winter. Okay, we're going to go over here. So there's the little swarm right there is in that apame newt box right there. And there's probably 3 frames of bees in there. Here's where we're going to start. So it's a good time for an inspection today. It's nice and calm, lots of bees out foraging, and I'm not going to have to worry about every bee being right here because it's late in the evening. I probably got an hour and a half of sunlight. And I'm going to open this super just to take a peek at it and see what kind of coverage we've got. So if you open this super and it's just totally covered with bees, you know you got a good strong population in here. And also it might be a candidate to go ahead and put a second one on if it's that strong. So there's just one super on here now. So that's not a whole lot of coverage. So this hive tells me it's not that strong. Some of these I went ahead and supered up, and they still had a ways to go in their top deep, but I was wanting to get it all done. But let's go ahead and get this off of here, and we'll break this sucker apart in the middle. Yeah, there's a few bees in there, but not as many as what it needs to be. I'll just pop this off for the video so you can see what it looks like down here beneath the excluder. So that doesn't look too bad, but it's just not packed out. So that single deep that I was showing you over there with the robbing screen on it, when I lifted the inner cover on it, the whole thing is just totally covered with bees. It was super strong. So I'll tell you what, I'm not going to open this up. I'm just going to show you the way I check for swarm cells so I can get as many done as possible. No need to go through here and look at every frame. We're not going on a queen search or anything like that. At least not yet. If I find swarm cells, then I would be searching for the queen. So if I find swarm cells and they're capped or not quite capped, I want to find that queen in here, and I want to take her out and put her into a nuke box with her own set of resources and start her new. And she won't swarm if you do that. And then this hive will make a new queen with the cells that you leave in it. And that's how I maintain my apiary at the number of hives I do. I don't buy a whole lot of queens, but I do every now and then. I bought some last year. Well, interesting. So when you look at a hive and you think, well, it's not that strong, there won't be any queen cells in that one, it's kind of weak. Well, looky here. Looky, looky. So yeah, they're not built out. There's 3 blank frames there, probably a couple here, 2 blank here, 2 there. I mean, there's some bees on them, but not that many. So let's see what we find here. So there's 2 queen cells right there. And one of them looks good. And there's a bee crawling or something crawling up my leg. Ah! This one here, I don't know if that cell is any good or not, because when it broke away, I think it's okay. But it's together with another cell, so I'm not gonna pull these 2 apart. They're gonna stay on that frame. So I can make a split here. I need to clean this up, and now I do need to go through here and see if I can find my queen, and I'll get me a nuke box ready here that I can set a frame in with her on it if I find it. And probably what I'll do is I'll leave this frame in here with those 2 cells right there and let them make a queen with that. And there may be some other cells on the frames up higher that we can't see yet. So let's clean this up right here. So you don't want to set that back down with these queen cells and this stuff down here, because it may not align back up the way it was where you lifted it, and it might kill that queen. So there's a cell right there that I think is going to be good as well. It pulled off from the top, but it's still sealed, it appears, right here. So that's going to be, they would have been right there. And don't get your hive tool underneath this box and pry, because you'll flip it over and it'll fall on the ground. Words of experience right there. Ah! I'd like to know what that is crawling up my leg. Okay, I'm going to, what am I going to do? I need to find that queen, but I don't want to set this down because I got cells right here. So I'm going to lift this box up and I'm going to set it back here on my hive stand. And if I had to guess, I would guess my queen's in here, but I'm going to go through this real quick and see if I want to do something with this right here, this cell right here maybe. And I'm going to be looking real close for my queen. I'm going to go get a box ready. So if we find that queen, I'm going to put her right here. So all those queen cells are capped. So I'm guessing this hive has not swarmed yet. And I didn't do a very good job last year of marking my queens. So most of my queens are unmarked. I did get a few done. So most of this is just empty comb. Not where you would normally find a queen. So here's pollen. And I don't want to be smoking them real heavy because I don't want to run my queen off into a strange place where she wouldn't normally be. Don't see her there. That's, like I said, that's mostly pollen. So that tells me this next frame might be some good queen territory. She may be laying on there. Don't see her. Another thing you could do with a hive like this is just do a 50-50 split. Or you could put a queen excluder in the middle and see where they start pulling down queen cells from. So here we're getting into some brood. This queen cell's right here. I think it's okay. This one looks chewed out on the side, like we had one emerge already. So she may have swarmed already. And we got cells down here. There's a cell, there's a cell. So here's a frame I could pull and make a split with. I think I'll do that. And there's something interesting I'm seeing here. I'll give you a shot of that. So a lot of these cells, see how they're sticking up? A lot of these are drone cells in a worker bee slot. There's a good shot of them. So that's not normal. That's a queen that's failing. So they may have superseded, but these are definitely, let go of me. These are definitely swarm cells. So maybe it's a swarmicide. But I don't see that queen on here. I'm gonna set this in this newt. If I see some more queen cells, I'm just gonna leave them. See how many I have. I don't want to leave this with like 20 queen cells in it, because then you definitely will have some swarms that you don't want. But I want to leave them enough to requeen with. This is all drone comb right here. And there's a queen cell open. So that's 2 queen cells I've seen open. So now I need to start looking for virgin queens, because the original queen is probably long gone now. And spotting a virgin queen in that many bees, it's not an easy thing to do. But if I do find one, I'll separate her out and I'll make a second split. But I need to make sure I leave enough in this hive that it can actually requeen itself. So I'm not seeing any eggs. So the queen hadn't been laying in here in a while, at least not from what I've seen so far. There may be some eggs up in the top, because we still got to go all the way through that. Some more of that drone brood. Yeah, see, it's sticking all up in here. Oh, here's our virgin queen right here. See her there? So I got another apame hive over in the barn. I'm going to go grab that. So I'm going to put her right here. I'm going to set this here just for safekeeping, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got this apame newt, double newt. So we can forget about this honey super for this hive. It's not going to make honey this year. So it's going to be used to expand. So you can actually put 3 frame nukes in here with the divider, and I'll go get that. Okay, here's my apame divider, and I have my little things turned here where bees they won't be able to pass through or communicate. I'm cutting them off because I want 2 separate hives in case I find another queen. So now I'm going to take this and put in there. We'll make sure I find her. Make sure she goes in there. I see her. Gosh. That took a while. Okay. So I'm going to take this one here that's got the swarm cells on the bottom. There's 2 of them there. I'm going to put it on the other side. Actually, I need to make some space here because I'm going to shake some other bees in there. So there you can see it there with the divider. I'm going to clean this up. I'd like to leave that cell right there. I don't think there's room with the feeder, but we got 2 good cells on the bottom. I need to lift this up, make sure there's clearance down there, that I didn't squish them. Yeah, it looks good. So I just grabbed another frame of bees over there that's got some brood. I'm just going to go ahead and drop this in. I'm going to look real close on here for another queen though. And that'll set one of these sides with plenty of population. And I'm going to scrape that drone brood off of there. I don't want a bunch of drones hatching out in there. Man, that's a lot of bees. This one here. And then next frame I'll put will just be blank. See if I can get that swarm cell off of there without messing it up. Looks like I did. Okay. Now we need another frame of bees in here. Again, I'm making sure there's not a queen on here. So this side has our queen. And this side has our, no, that's backwards. This side's our queen, this side's where our swarm cells are. Hopefully I didn't get that confused. And put the swarm cells in with the queen. Pretty sure the queen was on this side. All right. Just a little bit of pollen here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in with this one. That way both sides have good population. And I'll put a little bit of liquid feed in these feeders here. I was gonna put that queen cell in here. So I'm gonna take this queen cell, I'm gonna stick it in here like this. Let it go ahead and emerge in case that other queen doesn't come out. Doesn't make it back from her mating flight. All right, 2 splits. So they're locked down right now. They can't get out. These doors are shut. So I don't have to worry about setting it in place just yet. I can set this aside. In fact, I could leave it right here in position number 5 because it's vacant. I'm gonna get it out of my way for now. So I'm gonna set this box aside and I'm gonna use what's left in the top, and I'm probably just gonna reduce this into one deep, and then I may go ahead and put that super back on it. I'm getting all discombobulated with my camera work here. It's not, I'm not doing too good. Sorry about that. So this is our original top box. Now we need to make sure we're going to have something to make a queen with here, because I took away all the cells. I'm thinking, oh wait, there was cells on the bottom of one of these frames here. So I'm gonna kind of look for a queen too. Most of these are empty. It's blank. There's some pollen. And I might find the original mated queen in here, but I'm guessing I won't. I'm guessing she's already swarmed. So here's where a lot of brood was, and it's emerged. It's empty. So this is all empty where she had laid earlier. And here's, no, there's nothing in that one. So here's our queen cells. Here's a good one right here and right there. I'd like to see at least one more good queen cell in here, because one of those I think's a little bit damaged. Yeah, I'll give you a shot of that. So the one on the right hand side, you can see a little bit of white there. That's not the larva, that's the cocoon. But the one on the left, it's in good shape. Some of that drone brood, where drone brood shouldn't be. No queen cells there. None here. I think this next frame's the last chance we'll have for them. Seeing any more queen cells. So this is where you want your drone brood, down here on the bottom of the frame. So that's normal. Up in here, it's not. So there's nectar there, so they're good on food. Lots of nectar in that one. And this is all nectar. Okay, I think I've seen enough. I'm gonna shake these bees down in there. This is our bottom box. We're just gonna do away with it. There's some pollen on this, so I'm gonna put it in right here. All right. So we'll go ahead and put our queen excluder on here and put that super back on and run it as a single deep for the spring. Okay, we got our one hive there. And I'm just going to put it right here. It's backwards. Okay, there you go. One hive into 3. So there's 2 in here. 2 3-frame splits with the divider. And I will leave them locked up for now. Make sure their vents are open back here, and I'll open this tomorrow evening so they're in there for 24 hours. What I don't want these bees to do is to fly out and see where they're at and go to their home. So in fact, it might be a good idea to move this away from their original home, like around the corner. It might prevent that a little bit more. But they say you move your hives 3 feet or 3 miles. You move it 3 miles so they don't go back to the same place. But if you just move it 3 feet, they'll find their original home. But most of the bees in here are nurse bees on that brood and hanging around that. So they're really not field bees, so most of them won't fly out, but some of them will. So we've got 2 or at least 1 good queen cell in here. So we got to follow up on these to come back in a couple weeks and check for a mated queen. And I usually cheat. I'll come in after 1 week and look and see if I have, you know, a virgin queen still in there or no queen at all, because I can't handle the suspense. I got to get in there and look. So I'll make notes on these, and hopefully this one requeens, and it's strong enough to make a little bit of honey there, but really it's a pretty weak hive. Unless one of those queens hatches out and really goes gangbusters, and by that time the nectar flow is going to be after the peak, so there won't be a lot for them to forage on. All right, that's it. I'm not going to do these 2 on video. It'd just be too long. Fortunately, the first one I got into was a good example, so hopefully I don't have to mess with queen cells in all of these. That would not be a good thing. So hopefully I got some good, nice, strong colonies over here. And if I do find queen cells, I'll try and and get those queens out of there, like with the one I missed here. It may be too late. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, real quick before I end this video, I want to pop the top on this super and show you what a stronger hive would look like. I haven't smoked any on this. I just popped the lid. So that's what you want to see in your supers. Full coverage of bees. So there's not going to be hardly any honey in this right now, but you can see they're working on the whole thing. They're ready. So when the nectar's coming in, they got this thing cleaned up, ready to go. It's full coverage of bees, and they're going to be in there working it. So just by looking at that, I know this hive is much stronger than the one I just split. So hopefully it's not full of queen cells. Been broken apart here. Let me show you what I found. And I smoked the bees back. So you can see there's drone brood, and I don't see any queen cups. There's a little one right there, but not much. So what I'll do is I'll scrape this off and clean it up and put it back together. But anyway, give me a thumbs up on the video, and thanks for sticking around and watching, and we'll catch you on the next beekeeping video. Y'all take care.